I know that might hurt, but it's the truth. Math is truth. It won't lie to you. It doesn't factor in your preferences. It's pure that way. Math can do a lot of things. Math can be art, but it can't lie. So, take another run at those two, because Chucko, you are good. You have art in you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Citizen Frame. And today we're still talking King. Grounded King, I guess you can say. And
well, not supernatural drama King.
Well, it's still grounded. It's with a slight a fantasy element.
Yes, yes, of course.
But we're talking the Lost film that no one ever saw, which I'm still in shock. I think it has to do with bad marketing and people don't know what the fuck they want to see. They rather see green screen animals. But the movie's called Life of Chuck. Now, this is directed by Mike Flanagan, Stephen King's new go-to director. He's known for Dr. Sleep and Gerald's Game, and he's currently working on the miniseries for Carrie and for Amazon. And Mike Flanagan, to me, right now, while we talk about directors are kind of fading, they're all guns for hire now for major studios, especially for Marvel. So you kind of we don't have the Scorseses, the Carpenters, the Hitchcocks. We
the Mavericks.
We can keep going on, and they're still out there. Don't get me wrong, and I can list a couple of them, but this guy right now, active, young, to me, is probably the best film director out there right now, horror-wise. From Hush, which is just a wonderful little independent film he did, to The Haunting of Hill House, to The House of Usher, to the incredibly wonderful miniseries Midnight Mass. And he's now founded his own production company. It's called Red Room Pictures, which, is a little nod to our boy King. He's obviously a King fan. And this leads us to Life of Chuck, which is based on a short story in the collection. It's called If It Bleeds Collection, which is funny because If It Bleeds Collection, this film doesn't seem like it would really fit that title.
Well, King does that sometimes with his collections. It's like a good anthology. You sort of, you vary the stories. There's a good mix of stories. And as we know, doing this sort of King drama, non-supernatural, even though there are supernatural elements here, King, mixes his stories in his collections like a good anthology. There's a good variation of different types of tales.
Yeah, he used to do what they call, I think it was called the Night Shift collections.
Yes, that is a one-off collection. Okay. Night Shift. Yeah.
Okay. Because Frank Darabont worked on that before we will talk about him next with Shawshank.
Well, different seasons. Darabont, got Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption. But you know what it is? Stephen King is that prolific. It's hard to keep track. I mean, this guy, there's at least one or two novels from him per year, and then there's collections in there as well. And the guy's near 80, so he's been doing this for a long, long time. So there is so much King material out there. He is extremely prolific.
Well, he's funny because I think he says something about Shawshank Redemption is one of his favorites, obviously, that got produced. And he said, "Yeah, I finally got my $5,000 check." He sells his stuff for nothing.
Yeah, $1. Stephen King allows his stories to be filmed for $1.
And good on him. See, I like that.
He's
go have fun.
Common talent. Yeah.
And with likes of Mike Flanagan, Mick Garris would be a good example. Frank Darabont, another example.
Yeah.
He's really brought some up and coming directors. Kind of like what Corman did, for the people we talked about when we talked about Corman. So he's not a greedy bastard.
No, I mean, he's basically, he's always supported upcoming talent in terms of, adaptations of his work, certainly in the film world.
Well, that being said, it would have been nice if he kind of, because some of the works that's gone from paper to screen are pretty bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to get that if you're going to sell the rights for $1. You know, I mean, me and you could do an adaptation of, I don't know, Salem's Lot or something, and star and write and direct it.
I think once the property's sold, we can't
Yeah.
touch it. So I think like Warner Brothers has Salem's Lot now.
Well, the monkey has been, yeah, I mean, this is all complicated, but I know the monkey's been filmed a couple of times before. Just recently, we reviewed it actually with the Osgood Perkins.
Yeah,
but yes.
Don't get confused with the monkey and Monkey Shines.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
Yeah, there was a very low budget, which I haven't seen, version of the monkey apparently.
Probably better.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But yes, but these things are complicated, you know, in terms of rights and who owns what and all that sort of thing. I always found it must be very frustrating for a writer to not own the rights to their work, you know, in terms of a film, and have no sort of input in terms of a film because it's owned by the studio, but yet it's your original work. That would be quite frustrating, I would imagine.
It's one of the reasons why I don't. I mean, I can respect why he does what he does to give his stuff away, pretty much. But after what he went through with Kubrick, I'm shocked he does that now.
Yes, I know.
Even though King, I get why he was frustrated with it, but come on, man, The Shining is pretty fucking good.
Well, here's the thing with The Shining as well, with me on a personal level. I had watched the film before reading the book, so that sort of affected my reading of the novel, in that whenever I was reading the characters as Keane depicted them, I was in my mind's eye seeing Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, you know, doing these things. And obviously that was not Keane's intention, and something he certainly didn't like with the film version, you know, especially the portrayal of Jack Torrance, you know, by Jack Nicholson. So yeah, read the novels first, I would recommend. Read the source material.
All right, well, let's jump into this one. Now, there's no research on this one, guys. There's no trivia. It just came and went, literally, and I'm shocked because
what is going on there? Yeah.
So it came out, no marketing. I think marketing failed it, and it sucks because this is his first venture away from Netflix. He left Netflix. Good on him. Netflix is a bunch of greedy bastards, and now he's with Amazon. But he wanted to do something different for himself, and I think this is his first feature with his first production of Red Room, and it's unfortunate because I love when directors go outside the box and do something different. And I like Mike Flynn because he cast every actor is in this film as in all of his other stuff.
But that frustrates me.
Well, hold on for a sec. But anyways, it made $16 million and came and went. It came here last week and played in like one theater. So
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't know why they get to play. I mean, these films used to be. This movie I put up there, well, in the same level or the same idea as would be like a Forest Gump or like The Majestic with Jim Carrey, another Frank Darabont film. I put that up. You know, a lot of '90s films, like The Truman Show, has a Truman Show kind of idea to it, and those movies are all, you know, people talked about and liked, and so I don't get why this didn't find this audience. Or
I wanted to see this in the cinema for this podcast, and it was really hard to find a showing of it. It is being shown in cinemas, but very limited. It'd be just like an afternoon showing during the week and stuff. So it was just a bit. I've never really seen it before with a film, you know, like this, what you would expect to be big, because obviously Keane's a massive name, but Flanagan's a very big name as well. So and it has an all-star cast with the likes of Hilton and stuff. So I don't know what's going on.
When I watched it the first time, I got a little confused what it was really about. It does, guys, it has like Shawshank and The Mystic. I'm sorry, the Mist. This has a lot of replay value. You'll catch little things in the second viewing and then the third and so forth. So if you see it once, don't blow it off. Just give it a second viewing and you'll catch things. I had to. Let's jump into this. Now, when I first saw it, I almost think it was a masterpiece. All right, because I really, really liked it. I liked the characters, even though I was a little thrown off of what the fuck I was watching. But again, watching it at least a couple times, I'm able to walk away with my actual review now. So there you go. Tom Huddleston, Jacob Tremblay, Benjamin Paget, and Cody Flanagan all play Charles Juck Krantz. I'm going to butcher this. He's a great actor. What's his name? Chiwetel
Yes.
Norm plays Marty. Cara Gillian plays Felicia. Is it Felicia?
Felicia.
Felicia.
But of course, Karen Gillan is most remembered.
Don't bring up Doctor Who. You brought that up plenty of times when we talked.
You brought it up there.
No. You were going to say
Marvel.
But you can't.
I was going to say Marvel.
You can't regurgitate.
I was going to say Marvel.
No, you weren't.
You said
No, you
Doctor Who. I am sick
weren't.
of your Doctor Who references.
No, you weren't.
Quit it with the Doctor Who references.
No,
Ciaran.
you weren't.
You closet Doctor Who fan.
No. What I was going to say, her first big feature film was Mike Flanagan's Oculus.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's actually pretty good. The absolutely stunning looking. She looks incredible. Mia Sara. I had a big crush on her when she was on Ferris Bueller. She plays Sarah Krantz.
That's right. Ferris Bueller's sister.
No.
Girlfriend. It's his girlfriend. Yes.
Girlfriend.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
You clueless twat.
It was Jennifer Grey played the sister. Yes.
Oh my God. Now you understand why he has to watch films a couple times. Yeah. Mark Hamill, he plays Albie. Now, Albie Krantz. Now, Mark Hamill, I'm going to say now this film got lost. People are going to forget about it, including awards month. People are going to forget about this film. But I'll tell you right now, I actually think Mark Hamill should at least be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for a feature film. He is so good in this, and it's a soul-destroying performance. But that's just me. Carl Lumbly, great little set of character actors in this film. Who plays Sam. I'm going to butcher this name, but we all know him in the horror field. David Dastmalchian. He plays Joss.
Yeah.
Nice to see Matthew Lillard playing a kind of a deeper role. He plays Gus, and then you're surrounded by a bunch of other characters. That's your main core people. Now, before we go any further, guys, this is spoiler-filled. If you haven't seen the film, a lot of us haven't, you can certainly turn us off because the film is told in 3 acts and is told backwards, which is very clever. Didn't they do that in Memento? Wasn't that told backwards?
Yes, Memento's told completely backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's told in 3 acts. We're going to go through the 3 acts, and so this is spoiler filled. So if you keep listening, gives a fuck.
Listen anyway.
And it is still playing locally in Belfast, so please go see it if you can. But it is playing within the UK. I know it's out of the US markets. For our US listeners, you can rent it, I think, now. And over here, you still can find it. So if you are curious to go see it, give the movie its due and give it some money. I paid way too much. I'm too good. I'm kind of hard.
Right. Well, a lot of people who actually know you would disagree. But anyway,
go fuck yourself.
Say, oh yeah, that's a kind heart coming out.
Act 3. Act 3 is called Thanks, Chuck. Now, the first part here, we're introduced to Marty, who's a teacher, and Felicia. Is it Felicia? Why am I getting that wrong?
Felicia
and Marty are a divorced couple, and he's a teacher and she's a doctor. And this little town that we're featuring is something's happening. Internet's going down. There's a great scene where he's teaching these kids, and the next scene, the internet's down, and he's trying to tell the parents about their kids, and he goes, "How do you live with this? How do you live with no internet?" And they're like,
"Yeah." And
all they care about is the internet, and he's trying to tell them about their kid and how they're behaving and how they're doing in school.
They're trying to get a signal on their phone.
Yeah, and he's like, and they're like, "How do you know all this about our kid?" Well, they're right. It's right here. Oh, you keep things written down?
Yeah, no. Imagine that. Crazy, Yeah.
And then you have the Josh scene, which is actually quite. You have these. Each Marty's journey for this first half hour is really meeting certain people, and during this parent conferences, he meets Josh, played by David Gaspar.
Yeah, the guy from Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, and he starts with like, "Can you believe Pornhub's down?" And. But then he kind of breaks down. He talks about how his wife left him after 20 years, going back to an old fling she had for 30 days back when she was younger, and she leaves him. And he gives this kind of warm, powerful little speech. and then he ends with Pornhub's down. Can you believe it? And they kind of have a chuckle.
Yeah.
And this is the first introduction to these series of characters that Marty will meet. Now, I was watching this. Each act is narrated by Nick Offerman, who's got that great voice. And when I watch the film again, it does feel like each act, even though they will be in sync, and you will, they all have a part to play in Chuck's life, or who Chuck is. That is it really does play like a Twilight Zone, each act.
Oh, totally.
And Nick Offerman does have that Rod Serling kind of voice.
Yeah. In fact, he sort of, not even so much Rod Serling, but it's that type of narration. But more the narrations for the 80s Twilight Zone it actually reminded me of,
Yeah, exactly. We also know at this point, Chuck's dying.
Yes.
39 years old, and he's dying. And
well, at this point, I was more thinking that, the way it's sort of done with the posters and stuff, it's more that he's retiring, even though he's only 39.
Yeah, but the narrator tells you he's dying.
Yes, we do find that out. Yeah.
And during this whole segment. And so as he's dying, things are going wrong. Monsoons, earthquakes,
The
world is ending. Yeah. So we are led to believe it's, because the environment, the environmental issues that's going on and so forth. We got the hiccups there. But what we find out as he's walking and he's meeting all these characters, the next character he kind of runs into is Gus, the Matthew Lillard part. And everything one of these characters says or does, or the character himself, will come back in the final act. Sam, who plays he's the mortician.
Yes.
He says it's not the environment that's doing this. This whole thing is about it's the bigger picture. The world, the universe itself is imploding.
And they also are a bit mystified as who exactly Chuck is, because he keeps popping up on their TVs and on these, billboards and stuff.
Yeah. And we don't meet Chuck yet, but we know that he is dying. But they don't know that. We do. But you'll see all these billboards of congratulations. Thanks for 39 years, Chuck.
Yes.
And Gus makes a line where he goes, it's the waiting. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
And that will come back into play. So key characters come back into Chuck's life when he's younger, or certain lines that are repeated through the duration of his life.
Yep.
So well done. And as he's walking, you meet there's a girl called Janice. She's on the roller skates when Marty's decided, as chaos is kicking in, the world's about to end.
That's the young girl from the Megan films, isn't it?
No. Oh, is it?
Isn't it? I'm almost certain it is.
Oh, maybe it is. I think it's
Cody something or.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is her.
Yeah.
But she comes in. She runs into Marty, but we'll see her again in the next act when she walks past Chuck. So again, all these characters come into play eventually. And Marty decides, because the end of the world, he wants to spend the last moments of his life with his ex. And there's a great shot when they're sitting down. They're outside. It's beautiful, actually. And they're looking at all the constellations and stuff, the night sky. And as she says, look at the north, it burns out.
Yes.
And then you see Mars burns out.
The universe is burning out.
Yeah, the universe is burning, which we later find out what the universe really is. And then it just cuts to the next act. And then we get the next act, that's called Buskers Forever. And this is my favorite part. This is where Tom Hiddleston's in this. Now, Tom Hiddleston does have, maybe it might be on a poster or something like that, but this is his part. Otherwise, he's barely in it.
I know that. I looked it up, and that was one of the things that disappointed me about this, actually, where the star of it is barely in it. He's only in it like 19 minutes or something. Again, that's to do with marketing, that type of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, see, that didn't disappoint me. I thought it would, but as you find out why he's the title character, the title character doesn't necessarily have to be in it. Well, yes, he's in it, but
The younger version.
The younger version is in it longer.
Yes.
The Mark Hamill segment, but this by far is the one where he's just walking in the street, and he walks into Taylor and Mac, and she's setting up her drums.
Yes.
And for some reason, he's just walking. He's going to a banking convention because he's a banker, and he just decides he wants to break into dance. And I absolutely love this scene. I don't know why. I just think it puts a smile on my face. And all you people are probably like, God, he's such a hateful bastard. He likes slasher films and blah, blah, blah. I have a heart, people. I have a kind heart. Now, this is where probably Trevor...
I found it a bit cringe, to be
Oh,
honest.
see? That means, no, you're a hateful prick.
No,
that's fact.
I'll tell you why.
Fact.
I'll tell you why.
Well, the whole thing where he just starts dancing, and then you meet, is it Janice? Janice. Iris was the girl. Janice is the one who just got dumped.
Yeah.
And it's all these different people that meet Chuck during this scene. And he starts obviously dancing with her. And it's just a great scene. It reminded me of an old Singing in the Rain. It actually reminded me of Donna Reed and Jimmy Stewart dancing in It's a Wonderful Life in the pool, in the gymnasium during the school dance. It had that very Frank Capra kind of feel with it, or Billy Wilder. And I think that was deliberate. I do think
the teacher is watching an old musical on TV as well, so it sort of ties in with that.
Yes, and this all comes into play when we meet the mother in the first act.
Yes, I would say, it is very well choreographed, but even though I have just said that I was disappointed that Tom Hiddleston isn't in it enough, I do find him somewhat smug. But here's the thing, we're going to talk about the Shawshank Redemption soon on the next podcast, actually. He's actually a very similar character to Andy Dufresne in that he's a sort of uptight sort of banker, but he's deep. But within him, he has this love of, in this case, dancing. But, and with Andy Dufresne, it's like, the music and stuff. He's cultured. Let's just say.
That's the whole point of this, because we'll know in the next week, we'll follow up on that comment in the next act, what Mark Hamill says to him about dancing. And so that's where his love of dancing kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's told backwards. Pieces will come together. So when he saw her drumming and he puts his fingers in the air and he goes click, click, that's what his grandmother used to do.
It reminds him of his grandmother.
It reminds him of his great Zadie, and Zadie gets into, and she gets into dancing. She taught him dancing in musicals. So it brought up the little boy in him again. And that's why the scene is there. It's a great moment. It's a great scene. It's somewhere this fucking, you almost wish people would do this for,
I would pay good money to see you do this.
What?
I would pay good money to see you.
I'd break into the fucking dance all the time.
It'd be like that video for Fatboy Slim's. What do you call that one? That Spike Jonze directed it.
Christopher Walken.
No, but you would be the one with Spike Jonze and stuff outside the mall. What they're doing. It's the mad dance troupe. I'll send you the video of it.
Is he a good-looking guy?
Well, let's just say it's very wacky, and it's very.
If it's insulting, I'm beating the fuck. I'm going to find out if it's fucking.
Oh, you're going to whoa, Mister! I have a heart. Just was about to say there, I beat the fuck out of you.
No, my point is that if nobody watches the scene and puts a smile on their face, there's no way they're going to like the movie. There's no way.
Chill out. It's all right.
Don't tell me to chill out. Don't tell me to chill out. I am arguing with you. This is the heart of the film right here.
It's well done, but it is
you don't like it because you're an evil fucker. Just say it. Just say it. That's all.
It's a bit overly sentimental.
If this was
which a lot of
naked
this film
women
has.
If this was naked women in chains being beaten with whips, with fucking fire pits of dragons and fucking the pentagon of the wolf on the ground on fire, you would say this is magic.
So a heavy metal video then? Yeah, I like the heavy metal.
If this was in Wicker Man, you would have been going. You would have said, Jesus, this is epic.
Well, I have to say, with the Wicker Man, that dance scene at the end, Christopher Lee in a dress as they're burning Edward Woodward, but that is sublime. That is powerful. That is life affirming. You know,
And as he
beautiful.
let's just get back. You just upset me now. So as he's dancing, he stops for a second to get his mojo, but he gets this little headache. And as we know, he'll die 9 months from this dance and of an operable brain tumor,
Yes.
which is sad. But the whole film is, initially, you don't know what's going on. In this part, nobody does. Anyone says they know what this film is about, they're idiots. They don't until they see the first act. It's very hard to kind of figure out what I used to see it as a man, kind of like a Truman Show, where kind of what's this whole why is this man being looked at? You know, why is this man being under a microscope? And that's what I got out of the first couple acts. And I thought it was about meeting people, complete strangers, and having a dance with them or whatever, having a good conversation with them, having lunch with them, sitting down and talking about the universe like Marty does with Sam, and all these different characters that these leads meet. I thought that was where the film was going, about humanity, and the way we should treat each other. That's where I thought the film was going. And the final act contains multitudes. That's the title for this final act. And this is where we meet young Chuck. And you've got Mark Hamill, played wonderfully. He plays Albie. Then you got Mia Sara, who plays Zadie, the grandmother. Their son and their daughter-in-law and the daughter-in-law's unborn child were killed in a car accident. So they're raising now our boy Chuck. Now this is where the mother. What he talks about is it a cupola? He says cupola or cupola.
I don't know, but I would just call it the room upstairs.
I call the attic.
Yeah, the attic. Yeah, the roof space essentially.
There's a mystery door, and you look up and it's always locked. And Albie says to Chuck, "You never go into this room. You see things you can't take back.
It tells you your future."
And there's a scene where Marty in the third act looks up in his house. It's a different house now, but he looks up and he sees the attic. So I got confused there. I was like, is he living in the same house?
Well,
but we know he technically is living in the same house.
Yes, he is. Yes.
So the mother has all these. This film is about the relationship between. The first part is between Zadie, the grandmother, and him, played wonderfully by Mia Sara. And there's a moment when he's teaching. That's how he learns to dance and stuff. We won't go into the whole dance segment, but it's very
Billy Elliot, basically.
Yeah, it's a Billy Elliot. There's nothing wrong with that. Billy Elliot's a good movie, but it's a Billy Elliot kind of tale. But once Sadie, we see there's a scene where Albie is not handling the deaths well of his family members, pretty much, especially his son, and he drinks a lot. So the kid Chuck takes advantage of that and takes the keys and goes up to the attic and opens the door, and Albie pretty much throws him down the stairs. Goes, "Don't you ever look in here again?" But we see Albie entranced what's in that room again, but we never know what that is. So we find out what the room really is. It's a portal. It's a portal that sees the future. A future,
specifically your own death.
Well, that and other people's. Someone you know, it will let you know when they die.
Yes.
And so there's a story about Henry Peterson, the Jeffries boy who was hit by a car. These are all Henry Peterson hung. These are all acts that Albie has witnessed while he was in that room one time. Those two deaths. So he's never been in that room since, because he thinks he sees the future, which is pretty much right. Did you see Mrs. Stanley, who that was? The one he brings...
The dance teacher?
No, the one he brings the muffins to.
No, who was it?
No, it's Heather Leathercamp.
Oh, yes, I was just about to say, yes, absolutely. Yeah, because as soon as she popped up, there's Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, and it actually made me a bit sad in terms of, I always saw her
I think that's makeup.
the teenage Nancy. Oh, yeah, yes, there is obviously a bit of help there, in terms of makeup, but it did make me feel a little sad, seeing her play an older woman. But yes, Heather Langenkamp, Yeah.
So I like when Chuck is kind of breaking the rules. He's trying to find out. So he's bribing Miss Stanley with these muffins and trying to find out what happened to the Jeffries boy and what happened to Henry Peterson. We don't know that Peterson hung himself and Jeffries boy was killed by the car at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But when Chuck broke the rules and Albie opened the door, we find out Zadie died a few months. I'm not sure the time. Time has gone by. How much time has gone by? But that's what Albie saw. So when Zadie died, he was prepared for it.
Yes.
And he also saw his own death.
Yes.
So he was prepared for it. And all these characters, and once Albie dies, and once the grandmother, Zadie, dies, Chuck's kind of on his own. And this is where he starts to realize we meet Sam. We met Sam, the funeral director, when we met Marty. And we meet Marty and Felicia when they were still married at the time, and Chuck is at the dance. So, and what we find out by the school teacher, played by Kate Segal, that's obviously Mike Flanagan's wife.
That's right. She's in all his
She's in everything,
films and stuff. Yeah,
I like her. She's talking about she's reading a Walt Whitman poem, and he asks the question, what does it mean when he says, I am large, I contain multitudes? And she says, pretty much layman's terms, everything you see, everything you do, whether it exists or not, whether it's your imagination or something live that you witness, it's your own personal universe, pretty much.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the film, as the universe is crumbling and you see the stars coming down or whatever, that's not the end of the world. That's the end of Chuck's world.
Yes, exactly. Basically, this film is essentially an adaptation of that Whitman quote. Basically, obviously it's expanded it,
Yeah. Yeah. And then he decides he's going to walk in to the room, and he walks into the room and he sees his own mortality.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how long he's got because he's older and withered and sick. So he doesn't know at this point, but he does know he's going to face death.
Yes.
And he left dancing because Albie talked to him about, you're not going to make anything with dancing.
Real life got in the way.
Everything's maths. He was telling him, because that's a pretty poignant speech about how important math is. So I pretty much led him into banking. And that's why that dance scene is so important, because now we realize that the one thing he loved in life was taken away from him. He got it back. He got that vibe.
Well, that's when Chuck realizes, as he knows he's dying at the same time, he
doesn't know he's dying at this point. Oh, yes, he does eventually knows he's dying. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but it's when he realizes that, the real sort of, moments of beauty in life are things like the dancing and not being a sort of stuffy banker type thing.
The film is it's pretty much a film that's teaching people to appreciate the small moments in life.
Yes.
It's pretty much what it's about, and treat people decently. See, Trevor, maybe you might get something out of this.
This is Mr. I have a heart, but I'm also psychotic.
So,
and if this video clip isn't the right one that I want to see, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. But anyway.
But I mean well.
Right. So, so violence, right. But okay.
The film is pretty much it's the whole film is based on the meaning of life. And it's often, and the meaning of life is often found through the connection of others and embracing mutual moments of joy. And that's what the film is about. And that's why you have these little characters coming into his life that he remembers and starts embracing, especially the scene with the dance.
It's actually very simplistic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a sort of complimentary way. While on the surface, it does seem, if you were watching this, you get into this sort of without knowing anything, and you were a bit confused about, the structure and the way it's non-linear and stuff, and the stuff going on. Actually, when you peel it back, it is quite simplistic, and it's essentially that Walt Whitman quote,
But isn't that the beauty of it? because
that's what I'm saying.
I was like lost. Like, well, okay, where are we here? What's going on? And then that one scene, she gives that beautiful little dialogue to him, and there you go. The movie summed up. I know it's complete night and day. I know it's complete night and day filmmaking, but it reminded me of Pulp Fiction because you have scenes where, the structure, you have different acts, which is Pulp Fiction, and then you've got John Travolta dying and cut to John Travolta's in the next scene. You're like, what the fuck?
Even in terms, absolutely. Even the recent Weapons, by Zach Krieger, it's similar in structure.
Yeah, and Mike, and maybe that's why Mike Flanagan chose this, because Mike Flanagan, horror filmmakers can tell stories like that in non-chronological order and do it well. Maybe that's why he's the right man for making this kind of film. I don't know. It's got a very Peter Weir style. Peter Weir did Witness, The Truman Show, Green Card, but it reminded me of a film. I don't own. I like a lot of dramas, but it was a movie called Mr. Holland's Opus with Richard Dreyfuss. It came out in mid-90s.
Yes.
Loved that movie, and it just had that mid-90s vibe. And I mentioned Truman Show, and I mentioned Mr. Holland's Opus, and it just had that.
It does have a 90s vibe to it.
And even though it's about death, you leave the theater, you don't feel sad.
No, it's more of a sort of positive outlook on life and death overall. You know what? I'm going to have to watch it again to give a full sort of opinion on it. But based on a first, viewing of it, I think it's very good, very well done all round in terms of, the acting and, the way the story's told and all that sort of thing. Maybe not really, I'm going to go against what I'm saying here in the next podcast with the Shawshank Redemption. But I do think at times Flanagan's stuff can be a little over sentimental, sometimes. But again, like I say, I don't want to knock it because I would have to watch it again to give it a fair sort of, opinion. But in terms of acting and all the rest, yes, it is very well constructed.
It's by far, I was thinking, the best movie of the year. I really love this film, and for the reasons I've already explained, it puts a smile on your face, and it's a lot like the film we're about to talk about. And it did have that very Frank Darabont 90s feel. The Majestic would be up there, and with these massive, all these characters from small town, which is very King.
Well, it's very Stephen King.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually enjoy this film. It's not the best film of the year. It's the second best film of the year. It's moved Sinners away. Sinners was in my top 2. Sinners is now 3. This is number 2, but very close to 1. But I still got to stick with Weapons for number 1. But guys, go just check it out. If you at all like grounded King and grounded, and then this is the first time kind of Mike Flanagan's going a little bit grounded, check it out. If you're fans of Shawshank, Frank Darabont's work, like The Green Mile and The Mist, you'll enjoy this. There's no way you won't.
It is in that sort of style of, while I don't think it's, based on this first viewing, I don't think it's as good as Shawshank or even Stand By Me. It is in that similar vein.
So there you go. Check it out. It's definitely worthwhile. All right. That's it.
But the sad thing is, sadly, there's not too many killings or monsters in it. So,
Yeah. I remember Trevor sent me a message going, Ciaran, this is really disappointing. I'm like, why? Well, there's no naked old people. And there's no trees that they can go in and hump in, because he likes good naked old people humping in a tree with a burning crucifix.
Burning wicker man.
No, you put upside down crucifix. You sick fuck.
What? Where are you getting this from?
So that's his passion. That's his passion, everyone.
This is Ciaran's fantasies inadvertently coming out. I'm trying to pin them on me, deflecting them onto me.
We're gonna wrap this one up. The new issue of Phantasmagoria is out now, available on Amazon worldwide, locally at Forbidden Planet, and of course, peppered in some local stores in the U.S. You can reach
It is indeed.
Okay, God, your delays you always interrupt me all the time, and then when you're supposed to jump in, you don't.
You talk over me when I have good points to make.
No, you don't. This is going to be the worst editing ever. So listen, give us a shout at CitizenFrame_podcast on Instagram and of course Facebook. We're going to wrap this one up. We're going to jump into Shawshank Redemption, and then we can get to Final Destination. It's coming.
Well, I mean, it's, the final destination that we're heading towards, it's been, let's just say, been delayed. This flight has been delayed. Yeah, let's just say.
Because next up, we've got the Warriors after Shawshank, the Warriors, and we're doing another 70s one. I forgot what it was. Well,
I can't remember either.
Okay.
Was it Freak?
Oh, no, I think it was Taxi Driver.
Was it? I can't remember. I know we're doing the Warriors. Yeah,
Warriors for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and take care of yourselves.